Hello, I'm your girl Michelle Hope Walker, and we are going to talk about racism against Black women. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, this is like a daily occurrence. I'm a Black woman, so I know. All right, so let me date this video. So today is Sunday, and it is January 16th, 2022. So January 16th, 2022. January 16th, 2022. All right, y'all. So I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker, a Black woman. Oh, yes, it gets so challenging from the medical field to just on our daily walks, our daily activities, the different things that Black women have to experience. I say have to because it's not like we're asking for it. We're just going about our regular activities. It reminds me of the hashtag where they talk about Black people doing regular things. Well, that's pretty much Black women just doing regular things. They're just running around doing regular things. Our regular activities. But even in the midst of our regular activities, again, no matter where we go, a lot of times where we even open up our mouth, no matter what we have on, we could be dressed to the T in business wear or whatever the case might be, and you're still going to have someone treat you to your race and gender versus treating you as a human being and a person. And I remember reading how Sojourner Truth talked about the Black woman being the most hated person in the world because not only we have to deal with that we're a woman, but then we also got to we're a Black woman. And unfortunately, even around the world, you deal with people that tend to not favor people of darker color or that have color, period. Again, these are not my views. We love ourselves, and y'all know I love me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, laying it out for you that this is what we do. Even in, I know for sure, America, because I live right here in America, that, when we get to talk about that tolling pole, and it's more of a, it's more of let's see, I guess like a study where they did like a study where they talked about, so we're talking about the tolling pole in the sense of that Black women tend to be down here at the bottom where the rich white man is usually up at the top, and so a lot of times in our daily lives we can feel that we're down here by the way we're being treated, because sometimes we can just be doing the same thing that other women that are doing that are not Black, but yet we get looked at as suspicious. That thing that people are always suspicious of a Black woman when she comes around, like, what is she doing? Why is she here? Da, da, da. Well, all these other women are here. It's almost like we don't have the signs anymore. Like back in the day down south, they had color here, white here, so you don't have the literal signs, that literally point out who can be here and who can't. But sometimes when you roll up on the scene, you can tell they didn't want you there. Okay. Just the way they treat you, the way they act, you just like, well, I didn't know that I couldn't come. I thought it said anybody could come that wanted to come. Okay, y'all gotta take this jacket off. But getting hot. But so I think it renders being talked about. Talking about an issue, especially a shared issue like this that all of us Black women experience in one way or another, is good for us to talk about. One, so it's not just you. So hopefully as some Black women, watch this video, and if they've experienced, walking down the street and other races grabbing their kids, not even other races, even your own, as if you gonna grab their kids, you looking at them like, or Black men grabbing their non-Black girlfriends as if you're gonna do something. It happens a lot when you're walking down Hollywood. It's just like, you just look like, Now again, there's many factors at times with what we as Black women experience. So it also goes back to when people get to talking about, well, the Black woman always wearing wigs, leave her and her wig alone. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because it shouldn't have to be like this, but the more that we look the way the dominant race or the dominant power in our society wants us to look, sometimes the easier it is for us. So if you wear the straight hair and you wear the long hair and you have it straight, or you wear the wigs and the weave and it's straight, thank God that right now, finally, people that wear braids can pull out their braids. Because for a long time, black women didn't really want to wear the braids because they would get treated negatively, even the braids, and even still sometimes, you get treated negatively when you come out, in the braids. But it is a lot better now. Shouts out to Holly Mitchell. Senator, and then now she's also our board of supervisors here in LA. Holly Mitchell, the Crown Act, and shows out to California and all those that voted for and different things like that, where people don't get fired from work now because of how they wear their hair. So again, if you wear your hair the way the dominant society will want you to wear your hair, which when it comes to black women, and again, this video is about black women, so black men, not leaving you out, but this whole series is about black women and what we experience. You all got a lot of videos talking about black men. Anyway, so for us, it's if we wear our hair straight, and long, not only do they want it straight, but if it's long, they like that. If you look as close to their race as possible, if the black women look as close to their race, the dominant race in your area, whatever the case might be, as possible, then you might get treated a little bit more better. You know what I'm saying? Than those of us that wear the natural hair. Because right off with the natural hair, some of them just looking like, and it's so interesting because I was at UCLA. This is when I was looking at doing law school at UCLA, and I really felt like, I guess this was a guest speaker. I think he said he was a teacher from Southwestern law school, which makes me leery of him being a professor because he really got racist. I think at that time they were talking something about the discussion of the original people. So I did bring up, about that theory. I think the black people actually are the original people, and everybody sort of came out, of, the black people, what I'm saying? And I don't think he liked that statement because then later, to me, I think to throw something back at me, he was like, well, a lot of times black women are treated bad when they don't wear their hair straight like the dominant culture because they're seen as not having money to put their hair the way that the dominant culture feels they should. I'm like, ooh, I didn't get it at first, and later I thought, so he was taking a shot at me. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, because I'm going to wear my hair natural. I love my natural hair. To all you natural sisters. And again, it's not about knocking those sisters that wear their hair straight or wear weave or braids with the weave with it or whatever the case might be. Because y'all know I am truly one that talks about wear your hair however you want to wear your hair, because that's the whole piece of this. The black women, we should be able to wear our hair however we want to wear. I remember something when you wear the wigs and the weave, then they talking about you then. Black women, I ain't trying to look like other, but the same men just putting you down when you come around in the natural hair, they looking at you like they're scared of you. So not only do black women got to deal with other races of people who aren't black mistreating them, black women, we have to deal within our own race mistreating us. Other black people looking down at us because we don't have our hair straight or we don't have weave in or whatever the case might be. When you have plenty of money, you just don't want to wear your hair that way. But again, I really see our society getting better on the hair, and so I have to, kudos to that. Our society is getting better on the hair, because that was the thing too. I felt like with Sandra Bland, just because she had, and I know we all do that. Sometimes you just wear your hair in braids and you wear them all day like that. That's the style you're gonna wear there. Or sometimes we got our hair plaited in braids because we're gonna take it down later when we actually get to where we're gonna be. I do that a lot. where a lot of times I have my hair plaited and braids, and I literally do not take it down, especially if it's an entertainment thing I'm going to. I don't take it down until I actually get to that video shoot, that film that I'm working, or whatever it is. This hair ain't coming down to it, because I want my curls, my curl pattern. I want it to stay as long as possible. I want it to look as fresh as possible. So I don't be worrying about everybody else, and so, but sometimes you get the most craziest looks because your hair is in braids, and it's your own natural hair. Not that should make a difference, but it is your own natural hair plaited. And when I say plaited, it means a braid here, braid here. Actually, that style it's not a style. It's not a style. Bless their hearts, because I happen to just have my hair like that. I was talking to one of my kids on the phone, and I don't know if they thought I was wearing it for the style or something. You could see the picture, and later I seen a picture of me with my hair plaited, But then I looked and said, "Oh, okay, well this is style." So maybe he thought I was doing a style. But anyway, I think that's good. That's a style. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Again, but we still have to watch them, because even in the plaited style, it's almost like they still want the braids to be real long. Where they still got the black girls adding hair in too with the braids, so it can be long plait braids, Be yourself. That's my key thing. Be yourself. Be who you want to be. Wear your hair the way you want to wear your hair. But I don't like to hear people talking about black women, about, they got the weave in their hair. They got the, don't, because you know what I'm saying? For some black women, depending on where they live or what they're doing, wigs saves lives. Because unfortunately, sometimes the more you look like that culture, the more they will accept you and won't mistreat you. Where you wear your afro, or you wear, your natural hair, some of them not receiving your natural hair in that way, and will do evil stuff. I know it sounds good, but it happens. It will do evil stuff to you just because of how you wear your hair. And that is a shame. And that's why sometimes when we're talking about black women and the racism that we as black women experience, and sometimes you gotta watch who you talk about that way. You know what I'm saying? Because or who you're in front of. Because usually you're not talking about this to other races. Every once in a while you do. You try to educate them, but sometimes that don't work because they don't get it. And then they start chiming in. Yeah, I know, because I have to deal with this, trying to compare what they have to deal with you, which is so far-fetched, far-fetched. Because women of other races, they can shave one half of their head and people still receive them and don't think negative of them. And, if we shave one part of our head, they're going to look at us like we have a nervous break. And we're not. It's just a hairstyle for us. But, again, this theory of being more suspicious of black women. When a black woman pull up on the scene, suspicious. What she want? What's she about to do? Which, I work in the entertainment industry, so it's, I talk about it a lot, respect the work of women. Because it's almost like for black women, sometimes if a black man or another race or somebody didn't introduce you into the fold of the group, you just rolling up. Sometimes because you're a black woman, you're seeing, they're looking at you all suspicious, or like, well, who is this? And this and that. Where again, now a white woman can roll up and not know no one. And everybody will embrace her and bring her, oh, what's your name? Come on, you can come with us. That does not always happen to a black woman. When we roll up, either they just distance themselves or even space themselves over, and you're just like, I know I didn't do nothing wrong, and I know I smell good. I know I'm clean. And it's sad. It's really sad. But I talk about these different things in hopes that for some of you all who have experienced this, it's not just you. We all experience different things as a black woman. And I'm talking about racism. This whole video is about racism against black women. So please don't be posting don't listen and watch this video if you don't believe that black women experience racism, because this video then is not for you. Okay? Preferably, you probably need to be a black woman. And you can relate to some of this stuff. But unfortunately, like I tell you, even sometimes some people in our own race especially if it's a black woman that tends to do more of what and look the way that society wants her to look. She doesn't get it sometimes. She's like, well, I don't experience that. Well, of course you don't, because you got the straight hair. You do everything they ask you to do. I was going to say you like the house slave. You know, they used to say the slaves are in the house, they, you know, they bowed down to whatever the master, you know, told them to do. So no, they didn't really have a lot of problems. It's us field slaves is out here like, no, I'm not doing that just because you want me to make you feel comfortable. I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not doing nothing to nobody. I'm going to be able to be myself, and you should still feel comfortable being around me because I'm not doing nothing to you. I'm not hurting you or anything. I'm just being myself. As people, I love when people put unapologetically black, my unapologetically black woman self. You know, but I was in this too. I want to encourage you, because you all know I'm a Christian, so I believe in God in the name of Jesus. And so God looks over us black women though. So even when we're dealing with people that, you know, misjudging us, we go to the doctors, they checking stuff that we came for one thing, they checking to see if we pregnant, they checking to see if we on drugs. They like, that's not even what I came here. But because you're a black woman, they're just assuming, you know, you got black women being put in mental institutions and there was nothing wrong with her mentally at all. She came to the hospital for one thing, and all of a sudden, you know, I experienced that one time where I think my blood pressure was high or something, and just because I was I could feel that one person was being a little racist, you know, and I mentioned it, you know, next thing you know, then they're trying to put me somewhere that I'm like, oh no, and I got it because I'm smart. I know the law, and they're like, I'm not supposed to be over there. I said, no, there's nothing wrong with me mentally. You know, you gotta, you know, and then they tried to, which I know all this was illegal, but again, when you're by yourself as a black woman, remember, watch trying to do too much by yourself. You know, when we're by ourselves experiencing racism, a lot of what we want to do is, if you got video camera, have your video camera on. Or if you can't pull the video camera out, recording the voice, press your voice recording, you know, because that's your witness, you know, because again, we're black women, sometimes we say what happened to us. People don't believe us. They think we lying. Oh, no, that's just you. I don't think they would do that. As if you would just make up a lie, you know what I'm saying? So thank God for videotapes and recordings and all of that, you know, so our proof, you know. But you really just want to make sure you're gathering names. You remember your names. You're looking at the time it is and different things like that. So then you can report it to someone else or write it down. You know, but unfortunately, even as a black woman, you have to watch it because it's even hard for us black women to at times find attorneys. Yep. Because, and it's not always that the attorney is racist, but a lot of times even the attorneys know what type of justice, if they get justice, that black women will get in court, will get or not get in court. It's like they already know that it has to have been a lot to happen to a black woman. It has to be very documented for that black woman to win that case. Sad. You know? So a lot of times it's hard for us to find an attorney. Now again, the same thing happened to you, happened to a white woman. It was easy for her to find an attorney, and she done went to court and won and all kind of stuff. And I think I'm making it up. Go research and look. Go research and look. You know, and these are things that we have to get out and talk about because it's not right, but it happens. And so if nothing else, I want this to be confirming for some of you also again, so you don't think, oh, it's just me. Maybe I'm just thinking on it. Maybe it's just my imagination. No, it's not your imagination, but this is what happens to black women. You know, I was just reading recently, my girl Patrice of the Black Lives Matter movement. She went through so much in being a leader of the Black Lives Matter movement They did so much to her because they didn't like, so they don't like us black women speaking up. So again, see, if you're the timid black woman, you got your hair straight, you're doing and saying everything they want you to say and do, you with the right party, they feel like, political party, they feel like you should be aligned with. You're doing everything that the status quo wants you to do. You may do okay. You may do at least better than some of the rest of us, black women. But when you speak in truth to power, as Patrice Colliers does, and many other black women do, then you get labeled a problem. Or they try to lie on you and say you done some stuff that you didn't do. They're trying to make your image look bad. And yes, they'll try to call you crazy. Whatever they can do. I mean, when I ran, you all know I ran for president of the United States. Yes. No one told me that, black women aren't supposed to run for president. I mean, as a kid, I've always wanted to run for president. And I still don't feel that, and I feel that's not true. Black women can run for president. I ran for president. Full-fledged or ran for president. Now, I know some of you are like, really? I didn't hear about you. Well, the media and your status quo had a lot to do with that. They didn't want people seeing that a black woman was running for president. Now, I'm educated, know a lot, out for the people, a lot of great ideas, but they didn't want people to know that I was even running. So before I could even get started, they did knock me out. But, I would always let people know, well, you can go, though, to where you register, because I registered. I tried to make sure I did as much paperwork as I could, that you need to do for president and running for president, being a presidential United States of America presidential candidate. So that people can see, that no, this is true. I am running for president. So they could go to the FEC. I ran 2016. I ran for president same time as Trump and all the rest, because I figured, Obama's coming out this and it's wide open, because I've studied politics, so I know it's better to run when the incumbent is not running, when it's just sort of wide open and everybody's new that's in the run for the race, So, and I did a lot of mine pretty much online, pretty much how everybody's doing everything else right now, online, social media and different things like that. But I think it's some news coverage, But then you did have some people who, again, didn't like that a black woman had the audacity to think she could run for president of the United States of America. Trying to call me crazy. I'm like, I am not crazy. That's one thing I'm not. Like, you may not agree with what I have to say, but I'm not crazy. I remember at times when I thought I wanted to be a police officer, and I went out, and they had to take all these tests, and one of the tests is psychological tests. And so I went out for a police officer in 2 different cities, and I passed both psychological tests. I'm good on the mind. Plus I'm educated, and then I read on my own, so I'm very good on the mind. But that's what people try to do when they're trying to belittle you or trying to mess up your image and make you look bad. So they tend to do black women like that a lot. They did Cynthia McKinney like that a lot out of Georgia. When you don't agree with the status quo, or you don't go along with the key party in power, who they feel most time with blacks, they feel like you're supposed to be a Democrat. And if you're not going along with the Democrat with something, ain't right. So black women, politically, you support whoever you want to support. Black women run for office. Run for president. I did. You can run for president. And then I seen that same thing that with Kamala ran, for a minute there. I thought, okay, well, maybe they will cheer on finally a black woman. Now, Kamala is mixed with some different stuff, but, then again, maybe we're all mixed, and I'll mix some different stuff, but still, I was like, well, maybe they will give it. And then sure enough, they came around with some, trying to, make her look bad. Next thing you know, she had to, drop out. Now some people are sort of like, oh, we should have let her stay. Shouts out to you, Kamala. Some are like, oh, we should have let her stay in so she could have won. But anyway, so black women, yes, do all that you want to do. go to events, go to parties, go to whatever it is you want to do. Go to whatever side of town you want to go on in your area, because that's another thing too. Sometimes when we as black women, so we're going to an art gallery, we're going somewhere where there's not a lot of other black people there, and we may happen to be going there by ourselves. I tend to travel by myself because I love me and I just go do what I like to do. I never feel like I gotta have somebody with me to go somewhere. And all of a sudden you get people looking at you like, what's this? What are they doing there? The first thing they go with that you're a homeless person that came in off the street. For me, because I have asthma and different things going on, and plus I just try to take my house with me. Like when I go places, so I usually have some bags with me, And it's so strange because you're a black woman with bags, they automatically go to homeless, when white women and other women that are not black have bags and they're not concerned, or they never go straight to that she might be homeless for why she has a bag. It's amazing. And it's all racist. It's all just racist. Racism against black women. But black women, you go wherever you want to go. Keep your video camera. You turn that video camera on. Somebody start approaching you the wrong way, you turn that video. You let them know it's for your safety. Because if you're at the art gallery just looking around, you're not hurting nobody. You ain't touching the art. Why would security could be coming over to you to say and do what? Unless security is going around everybody. And the key thing is, if you're not to me, if you're not doing this to a rich white man, then don't come do that negative activity to me. I'm talking about when they're doing something negative to you. Now, if they're doing something good, positive to you, yes, put me in the front. Yes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about when they're doing something negative. When they're trying to act like you're doing something negative or treat you like you're negative or just being mean to you, wait a minute, if you're not being mean to this rich white man over here, because I'm just as worthy as he is. And the reason why I go there is because that's usually the top of the totem pole. So it's not comparing yourself, but it's like you want to make sure you value yourself and you're just as worthy as the person at the top of the totem pole, the rich white man. And everybody else is in between, you know what I'm saying? And you're at the bottom, the black woman, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be, you put me at the bottom, but I know I'm not at the bottom. I'm just as worthy and at the top, just like this rich white man is. And I expect to be treated just as good as him. Now just know that's not always going to happen. But in your mind, you should feel good and know who you are and have that self-esteem about yourself and knowing that you should. Now, when other people don't, that's shame on them. There's nothing against you. When other people treat you bad, it has nothing to do with you. That shows that person's ignorance. And then God is watching over you. So I said, you're always looking at name tags. You're always videotaping. That's our safety. Even do safety checks when you're letting people know who you trust, where you are, so if some do pop off. Because sometimes you cannot be doing nothing and people will just start lying. I remember when Tasha was on a bus and this bus driver, she just started lying. I have not done anything to this bus driver. She just started lying on me. I guess it was a bus line that a lot of black people did not ride, and I guess she did not want me on this bus line. But this is a public bus line. This is a government-ran bus line. How can you pick and choose who you want on your bus? I paid to be on this bus, But that's the type of stuff that we as black women experience. So I just like to share with the black women, don't find it strange. Don't find it strange. Don't get upset. Stay prayed up. Because that's their ignorance. You're worthy. Because I see somebody say start cussing because they don't understand the bigger picture. Well, why are you treating? I'm going to tell you why. Because you're a black woman. They don't want you there. Or they're suspicious of you or something of the sort. So to me, the more you know that, you can be calm because God is watching over you. And regardless if they're acting ignorant, you also know that you are a black, beautiful queen that's worthy of everything and more. So just because they're trying to belittle you, don't you belittle yourself and don't even give them. Because see, they want you to act out so they can put you out. But you're going to stay calm. You're going to take your mental notes. And if you do, take out some paper and start writing. What's your name? They get scared a little bit on that one. Like, oh, this person's going to sue me. Yeah, just might. All right, y'all. So I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. And you have been watching Racism against black women, something that we experience every day. So we're going to talk about it every day, you know. No, I probably won't do a video every day, but often enough so that you all can know it's okay. You're going to make it and keep going. I'm your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. God bless.